Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, thank you for coming in. Here's a Hamas defender.
Right, Nico, sorry about that. Nico House. Did I get
Did
I get your name right this time?
You did get my name right. I am the host of the For the People podcast. And oh, by the way, they cover their faces because technically speaking, the religion actually allows them to have the choice. But in some countries, they violate the religion by requiring females to cover their faces and cover their body. But in the actual religion, it's a choice. I figured I answered that for you.
So, I mean, would you agree with me, like in France, although I've been very critical about the French today, would you agree that maybe if you want to come and live in a country like yours or like ours, covering the face is not acceptable?
I don't know if I would say it's not acceptable, but, you know, I'm American, so people kind of dress crazy as it is. I think
your shirt's quite nice. I wouldn't go that far.
Well, I think that people should just dress how they dress for the occasion.
You've got a shirt like that.
I've got a shirt like that, yeah. But no, but you don't cover your face, because covering your face means you don't want to be part of society. You don't want to mix. You don't want to get on with people.
You communicate with your face.
If you want to cover your face, go and live in a country where that's acceptable.
I think that would be like a matter of perception, because you're technically correct, right? Those women who actually go out of their way to wear the niqab and cover their faces, they actually don't want to interact with everybody in society. So technically that's true. But we don't really complain when introverts who don't cover their faces don't want to interact with society. So I don't think that we should really judge them necessarily, even though I can also see how, culturally speaking, it could be perceived as weird. And you can't really be upset if somebody perceives it as weird, because you're right, it doesn't really, flow with the culture. So you have to be prepared for the social consequences of that.
Okay.
But I also understand that some people do reject it.
Sorry, let's move to what we were going to talk about. We will politely agree to differ on that. Gaza death toll rises. Well, we don't know that at all, because it's a terrorist group who keep giving out these numbers of people who die. And we happen to know that the terrorists base themselves in schools and hospitals. So is it really right for all this fuss to be made about it?
Well, there's actually been zero evidence to prove that they base themselves in schools and hospitals. In fact,
no, there hasn't. There's been a lot of evidence.
BBC tried to go in.
There's been stacks of evidence. So just for the record, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan stated that you can see, even from open source reporting, that Hamas does use hospitals along with a lot of other civilian facilities for command and control, for storing weapons, for housing its fighters. This is Hamas' track record, both historically and in conflict. Hamas uses human shields. Hamas' use of human shields in Gaza. And there's the use of human shields can be considered an example of lawfare, the use of legal system against an enemy by damaging or delegitimizing them, tying up their time, or whining a public relations victory, so on and so forth. But Hamas does use dozens killed in Gaza as Israel strikes fourth school. Okay, why did they strike this school? Let's find out. Dozens of Palestinians were killed or wounded in an Israeli strike on a school used as a displacement shelters near the southern Gazan city of Khan Yunis. Hospital sources said it was the fourth Israeli strike on schools in 4 days, which Israeli authorities try to justify by claiming that Hamas militants were hiding in the schools. Very, very sad.
To Gaza.
There's been a lot of evidence, my friend. A lot of evidence.
No, when BBC and CNN,
the BBC,
they did an investigation.
The BBC Don't make me laugh.
No. This is the same BBC that actually was preaching the same rhetoric that you were preaching.
You shouldn't go to the BBC
when they did the investigation.
I doubt
Israel tried to stop them from doing the investigation, one, but two, when they were finally able to, they realized Israel was lying and their information didn't match.
This is the BBC that reported 500 people were killed in a strike when there weren't, that didn't happen, and then they wouldn't apologise. That BBC. The one that's getting complaints about 2 or 3 times a week having to apologise.
Yeah, you can make that, but you can make the argument about mainstream media, but the same BBC, they propagated Israeli propaganda, and no one criticized them for that.
I don't remember that.
Until they had to This is mainstream media. This is what they do. They're gonna mess up.
So it's okay with you, Nico House. It's all right for you to say that what Hamas, you agree they're a terrorist organisation, do you?
No, I don't really buy into that framing.
So hang on. So you're a stupid idiot. You can get off my program now.
No, hold on.
Get rid of it.
What about the rights?
What about
the rights and the murder?
This man. No, stop
Would
it
you
now.
like me to respond? Would you like me to respond?
Not really, because I think you're stupid.
Let me explain something.
I don't know. I don't think you can explain it.
The Western
trying to
have this
defend
problem where they like to frame everybody who is brown and fights against Western imperialism as a terrorist organization.
They kidnap babies and rape women.
In the United States, they actually labeled the Black Panthers a terrorist organization, but refused to actually label the KKK a terrorist organization. So I'm not going to go with the framing.
People like you
a Western country believes a terrorist organization. Whenever even the United States agreed with the ICJ that they are illegally settling in Palestinian territory.
I am really worried about the United States, because unless you listen, why don't you shut up and listen to what I'm going to say?
Those people have the right to fight back and take their territory.
Oh, well, he wasn't going to listen.